Hey, man. How's it going?
How you doing? I'm good.
Hey, whoa, where'd you come from?
Hey, whoa!
What are you doing in my room?
So, what's your name?
My name is Connor Driest. Am I supposed to look at the cameras?
No, you can look at me.
So, right now, I am a freelance digital artist. I do a lot of work on the computer, but it's all traditional theme type of stuff, so I'm into digital painting and illustration. But I went to school at UNC Charlotte for 2 years in the art program, and I got a general education in their art degree program. So you can do a 4-year degree and be a Bachelor of Fine Art and have a concentration in a certain field of art. I didn't do that. I just did general education. So I took whatever I wanted. I took like sculpture classes, I took painting with oil paints, I took, figure drawing, just anything I wanted to take that I felt like I would never be able to do outside of that environment.
I'm thinking of some kind of like Shadow and Mordor orc.
Okay.
Because that's comfort zone.
Could you draw him on like a Hawaiian vacation?
Yeah, sure.
Sweet.
Shadow and Mordor orc on a Hawaiian vacation. Okay, perfect. I already know what to do.
There's definitely one thing I remember specifically that started all this stupid stuff. It wasn't in high school, it was in like middle school. I think I was 13. I saw, it was like a speed painting video, which is basically what it is it was digital painting. So somebody just had a screen capture on his Photoshop screen, and it was like somebody drawing Iron Man. But it wasn't anything creative. He just had a picture of Iron Man and copied it, and then it was like a time-lapse thing. So it was a time-lapse video of someone painting Iron Man on the computer. And I saw it when I was 13, I was like, oh my god, that is amazing. How does he do that? And so I started looking it up, and I found out, okay, you need a little drawing tablet for the computer. You need a digital. So I bought one of those. I got my dad to buy me one of those when I was like 13 or 14, and immediately gave up on it because it was too hard. So yeah, but then I took a few years break and eventually got back into digital painting. So that's how that all started. One video. I always drew. I've always liked drawing. I think my mom still keeps around, I used to just draw on huge pieces of paper, I never cared that it looked good, I just liked drawing, so I was more about the experience of doing it. So I would just draw pirate ship battles, huge on big sheets of paper. So they would be, there would just be thousands of stick figures with sweet pirate hats, fighting it out, dragons, just the worst drawings you'd ever imagine, but I would do hundreds of them because I was just addicted. So I've always been into drawing as something to do for fun. And then it wasn't until high school where I started taking it a little bit more seriously and caring about the craft of it and trying to get better at actual techniques and stuff. But yeah, I've always been interested in drawing.
Is that done?
Yeah.
Okay.
I just want to do something quick.
You can hold it up to the camera, bro. Alright.
It's not my best.
It's good.
So I decided to do computer science at first and immediately figured that I hated that. It just wasn't for me, programming and all that stuff. So I was doing art on the side while I was taking the computer science classes. And then when I got to the point where I realized I wasn't going to do computer science anymore, that's when I talked to my parents and said, hey, I want to do art. I want to try art as a job or as a making money type thing. So, and I told them that I just wanted to drop out of school. I was like, can I just drop out because it's art? I don't need to go to school. I can just stay at home and draw. I don't need to take classes to get good at this. I just need to do it on my own. That was, I wouldn't say it's the one time my parents didn't support what I did, but they definitely weren't on board with me dropping out of school and trying to pursue art all on my own. They definitely pushed me to enter the art program at the school I was at, UNC Charlotte. If I was to recommend it to somebody, if we're asking, whether to learn it on their own or go to art school, I would say just do it on your own, because the amount of money you have to pay in art school to just sit there and draw naked people, you can do that for free. So don't go to art school. There's naked people everywhere. Just go out and find them. Go to Europe. They're there. It is super cliche. Yeah. Figure drawing and all sitting in a room drawing a naked dude. Yeah, I did do it. Yeah. A lot of stuff I do is geared towards entertainment art, so it's like a dude with a gun because I'm drawing it hopefully to get a job as in a video game or something. But I try to put, I wouldn't say it's myself, but it's more of just like the stuff I like into it. So, all the movies I like, all the, books I read, all the stuff that I'm interested in always kind of feeds into the work, and you can kind of, I kind of try to base everything I draw off something that already exists. So even if it's a science fiction character and it's supposed to be futuristic and like you're designing things that you normally wouldn't have seen, you always want to base it on something that already exists, because that's just going to make it more familiar and realistic. Like Star Wars, everybody thinks Star Wars is so original. I'm like, oh my god, how could you ever draw something as original as Star Wars? Like Luke Skywalker is just wearing like a karate gi. Like it's like that. All the design in Star Wars is like either Japanese or like World War II. Like everything in that was done, and like it was just drawn from other inspirations, but because they remixed it and combined from different sources, it looks and feels original. So that's kind of how I create or like design things. I just try to think like, what am I drawing from, what sources am I taking from, and how do I combine them in an interesting way, I guess. It's definitely liberating to just not think about anything or try to base anything off of a pre-existing thing. But if you draw something, or if you're designing something and it's too original, like nobody's gonna relate to it. You don't, like, going back to the Star Wars thing, like you don't watch Star Wars and say, oh my god, this is so fucking original, what's happening? It's like, it's World War II, they're flying in planes and they're blowing shit up. Like, you've seen it before. If it was like a amphibious squid creature that doesn't exist on any galaxy and it was sponging nutrients out of the air, you wouldn't know what that was. You'd be watching and be like, what the fuck is this? But it's guys in a spaceship blowing shit up with guns. Like, you understand it. So you never want to be too original.
I love how every single example you go back to goes back to Star Wars.
I mean, I'm wearing the shirt. I love it. Always the longest process is just like finishing a piece. So taking it to that like final render look. So if I want something to really look like finished and professional, I'm gonna have to spend a lot of hours on it. Maybe like 20 hours of just sitting down and painting it out, and blending all the colors and just making it like read like an actual 3D form or something. I mean, I still try to keep a little bit of style and like painterly look, but if it's, if I want it to be a finished product, I'm gonna have to put some serious time into painting it if it's a fully colored concept. But when it comes to like the designing stage, normally that stuff I do pretty quick, because you can just do quick iteration sketches, and if you're not showing it to anybody, if it's just for you and you're trying to figure out what you want that drawing to be, like you can crank that stuff out pretty quick. And then once you're happy with the design, maybe you spend 3 hours trying to figure out what you're drawing, and once you're happy with, okay, this is what I want the character to look like, this is what I want the costume to look like, and once you have that picture in your head, then you just have to sit down and crank it out. Yeah, I've heard from other artists that it's always like, especially in like entertainment art, that people most times gravitate either towards like character designs or environment and like prop design or something. Like either you really like drawing people or you hate drawing people, and all you want to draw is like vast forest scenes and like really vague shrubbery. But no, I've always been into characters. Like I don't really like drawing like even in my work, like it'll be just a character on a flat background, because I like focusing on the character's design and putting all the emphasis on that. And I'm trying to get more into full illustrations and that kind of stuff, and I definitely do that stuff on the side, but yeah, I love character, and I just love like drawing figurative work. So just, I don't know, something about, it's relatable, the human, you can look at a drawing of a person and be like, okay, I can kind of see what their deal is. Whereas maybe if it's just like an abstract painting, you might be able to relate to that. I still have trouble. Even after going to art school, I don't get that shit.